So the Oilers announced the other day that Craig MacTavish and Gregg will be inducted into the Ring of Honor, joining Lee Fogolin, Ryan Smith, Doug Waite. Who was the other one who got? Lee Fogolin, Doug Waite just went in. Ryan Smith. This is going to drive me absolutely mental now. Don't tell me who it is. Just give me a clue. Do you have it?
No, not yet.
Oh, no. Right. This is not good.
I'm scrolling away.
I can't remember who it was for the life of me. Either way, those guys are going to go into the Ring of Honor. The Oilers announced it the other day. Kind of surprised. Oh, you give me the look like you might have it.
Who did you get?
Lee Fogolin, Doug Waite, Ryan Smith. I can't remember the other one. You can just go ahead and say it.
Al Hamilton.
Yeah, so those guys are Hall of Famers.
Okay, Ryan Smith, Fogolin, Charlie Huddy.
That was it. Yeah, Charlie Huddy was the one. Yeah, so it was Charlie Huddy and Doug Waite that went in last year. Ryan Smith and Lee Fogolin that went in the year prior. So now moving into the third year of it, Craig MacTavish, Gregg, both going into the Ring of Honor for the Oilers, the Hall of Fame, I think they're calling it as well. Multiple time Stanley Cup champions, the two of them. Now they're going into the Ring of Honor October 25th against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Obviously, Craig MacTavish, I'm sure with the younger audience, is someone who they remember a little bit more. Obviously, being head coach of the Oilers when they went to the Cup final in 2006. He's kind of just been around the organization his entire career. The only time he really left was when he went to go and play for other teams. But he was head coach from 1999. Assistant coach in 99 to 2000. Became the head coach in 2000 to 2008. 9 was fired. Made it to the Stanley Cup final though. Lost in Game 7 against Carolina in 2006. Was a head coach again in 2015. Also sold 50-50s for the team a couple of years ago. Do you remember that?
You love breaking this.
It's the craziest thing.
Tell me about it.
All the time. Now he's on Sportsnet as analyst for the team. Probably a good guy to get in there. What do you say?
Yep. He's been around it all. Like it's.
Yeah.
I understand we have our thing about the old boys club and all that goes on, but Mac T knows the oil. You cut that man open, he bleeds orange and blue. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I don't think you could deny that at all. And then obviously, Gregg, a guy who maybe not as well known.
His resume might be the strongest resume you'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, 5-time Stanley Cup champion.
He's a doctor.
453 games for the Oilers over 8 years. Played 21 for the Canucks. Boo. 5-time Stanley Cup champion. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that on the ice. Like you said, off the ice. A doctor.
And he's created a sick baseball team there.
And yeah, so those of you who don't know, he is the current owner of the Edmonton Riverhawks, who again just smashed the attendance record and doing a fantastic job. How many players did they get drafted again? 3 players drafted, 1 signed?
4 drafted.
1 signed.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And we're good now.
The impact he's had on this community, the two of them have had on the community, is actually really great to see outside of it, and kind of what you want from players who play here in Edmonton.
And guys that have stuck around, wanted to be here, wanted to live here, build a life here, build a family here.
Made it better. It just shows how great the city is as well for some people like Nikita Zadorov who say there's nothing to do here. Go to the Riverhawks. And the Stingers. There you go. Take that, Big Z. But my Sherwood Ford Giant question, because I know we'll talk about these two guys kind of a few more times over the coming months, especially the night before the game on October 25th against the Penguins. Who's next? Because I think a lot of us have kind of always seen this as like, they'll take one guy from this generation, one guy from that generation. But the last couple, they've not really. Ryan Smith, obviously. Doug Waite, still a lot of people don't know him. Probably a lot of people's favorite player growing up, depending on your age, I guess. But this time around, they didn't go for a younger guy. I really thought they were going to take, an Alice Hemsky, for example. They didn't. Or Dwayne Rollerson. They didn't take him. They took a guy who was around for the Cups, won 5 of them here, and Gregg and Craig MacTavish, who also won a bunch here too. What do you think? 1, this is a good decision, and 2, who should be next? Lance is in with a couple. Let us know in the chat who you think. You don't have to give us 2, just give us 1, whatever.
Okay, so Paul Coffey's in, right?
Yeah, the Hall of Famers are in.
Yeah. Like, I just know of guys that put, I don't think they would earn it. But the guys like, to me, that hit my heart, Alex Hemsky. But I don't think you can put him in there. You can't put him in there.
You don't think you could? I think this was built for guys.
Yeah,
like Alex
I guess
Hemsky.
it is theoretically. But then if you get him in there, does that open up to a Sean Horkoff, Jason Smith, Gator?
I think so.
You're right. That is the point of this. Right.
That is the kind of the point, and it's what they can do. Like, you look at Vancouver, they put Alex Burrows in, who was a great player for the Canucks, by not even close to a Hall of Fame by any means.
Lost in Game 7.
Was part of that
Hammer
group of part of that group of Canucks players, just to give them as an example of like who were able to bring some pride back to the organization, I guess you could say, and what Hemsky did too, and Horkoff to that extent.
Those
just one Stanley Cup. Yeah, I mean, if Ryan Smith's getting him, wants to kind of, obviously a bit more points on Ryan Smith, but Alex Hemsky, I think it's always going to be a name that people are going to throw out there. Played how many years in the NHL? From 2002 to 2018 for Edmonton, Dallas, Ottawa, and Montreal. 15 years, that is. 652 games for the Oilers, 142 goals, 477 points. Kind of
sneaky
underrated
good,
career.
Sneaky good. And he was a fan favorite. He has a cult following still to this day.
He was like the only good player.
I mean, really was. And like, especially in those days, he was one who had hands. He had exciting skills. He had that wow factor at points. Now, for me, I spend lots of time going, dude, just rip the puck. Come on, just do it. But Alex Hemsky in my heart forever. Horkoff, if I'm putting Hemmer in there, I might have to put Horks in there too, because he was a huge leader on this squad during those times, and he played a huge role in 2006.
Let's kind of take a look here.
Sean
Horkoff, 796 games for the Oilers. Played 15 years in the NHL. Exact same time length as Hemsky. Only played for Dallas and Anaheim, though, just 3 years after. From 22 years old to 34, he played for the Oilers. 447 points. Pretty close to what Hemsky did, actually. Captain of the team. It's funny, like, you look at his contract, and I think it was $5.5 million, whatever he took. And at the time, that was basically like a $10 million contract.
We thought it was crazy.
Yeah, now it's like, great. Got a solid second line center for $5.5 million. But obviously, Horkoff goes on to do what he does. Was in contention to be the general manager of this group coming up now, and obviously didn't get it. Stan Bowman got that job. I think eventually a guy like that will get in. Jason Smith as well. Like, how could you not? Dwayne Rollerson. Like, I do think you need to honor those guys.
For me, it's how many years did Rolly play now?
Maybe just a few. Maybe
that's what I don't know. Because I mean, you think Rolly, it's one playoff run, really, but it was a hell of a playoff run, brother.
Played 4 years in Edmonton, 193 games, which was the most in his career. So that could be enough. Yeah, so he played for 14 years in the NHL for Minnesota, who Edmonton got him from. Yep. Minnesota, Edmonton, Calgary, Buffalo, New York Islanders, Tampa Bay. 193 games for the Oilers. Had a save percentage 909 on a 2.78 goals against average on a team that made the playoffs once during his tenure. It's actually incredible stats.
All right, throw him up there.
Yeah, maybe you do got him in.
And now my other one, if we're talking Rolly, Tommy Salo.
Someone put in there too a bunch of Tommy Salos. Cujo.
Before my time, really.
Before my time too, but wasn't he? I mean, he was one of the best goalies. Yeah. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
He better be in the Hall
I don't think he is yet. I think he's one of those names that people are just like, is he in the Hall of Fame? Is he not? 177 games for the Oilers. I mean, he had the longevity of being there 3 seasons. It kind of depends what the Oilers want in this group, I guess. Do you want guys who are kind of like had a short stint and were solid? No, I think he should be. I think that's a good conversation. Do you want guys who have been here for short stints and can kind of had their moment when they were there? Or do you want guys who had like the longevity of like, they're known for being Edmonton Oilers? And I think when you think of all those guys who are inducted into the Hall of Fame, you don't think of them in other jerseys. You think of them as Edmonton Oilers. When you think of guys like Hemsky, Horkoff even.
And they do have some moments in the playoffs from that 2006 run in an Oilers jersey, and they had the longevity. They didn't win. The game damn close.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.